It's time for bookkeeping, beer, and BS. Now, are credit unions restricted in the size of, and where geographically they can operate? Like, can they work in other credit unions areas? Are they regionally structured?
No, it is not the mafia. Okay. We don't all have our own villages. There's about 5,000 credit unions in America, and we have clients that compete with each other.
Yeah.
And, we all drive past a credit union probably every day or see an ATM. And listen, it looks exactly like a bank. It has ATMs and car loans and teller lines and drive-throughs and everything else. And it used to be very restrictive to join a credit union. My dad was a member of his factory's credit union, and unless you worked at that factory, you couldn't open an account there. Mm-hmm. In today's world, probably 95% of the credit unions that you drive past, you could go in and open an account there. So some credit unions are regionally based. There are people who are more nationally based, but I would call most of them are probably more of that community financial institution based, and work within regions now. But there's no restrictions. There are credit unions that deal in multi-state areas.
Okay,
and we essentially are pulling these credit unions together to help lend to. We do loans. We do $30,000 truck loans, and our biggest loan this year was $38 million, and it's everything in between.
Yeah. Now, let's do this before we get to New Direction and MBFS. Let's first just define what a credit union is for people that aren't super familiar with banking. Like, help us define what makes a bank and a credit union a credit union.
Yeah. So, 125 million people belong to credit unions. So a lot of the people listening right now belong to a credit union, but most of them don't know what the heck it is.
Yeah, they function as a bank in that world, right?
My 17-year-old son the other day said I worked at a bank, and I wanted to slap him. So, so what a credit union is, it's a cooperative institution that's owned by the membership for the members. Mm-hmm. And at the top of the food chain is a board of directors that's elected by the people. So, we all put money in a pool and we get the services out, we get our checking account, and then that money is then lent out to local people in the community. Mm-hmm. So, and that can be car loans, it could be mortgages, and in my case, it's small business loans.
Yep. Now, banks do a similar thing, right? They're not a collective necessarily, but they're issuing checking accounts, they're collecting that people's money, and they're borrowing out. Is a credit union by definition then like a not-for-profit institution always, or are there for-profit institutions that are they're strictly
not-for-profit institutions.
Okay.
And they have to make good financial decisions.
Yeah.
They have to keep capital ratios, but the profits of the company don't go to shareholders as they are in a bank. They're kept within the organization, and to hopefully charge fewer fees, give a little bit better interest rates, and grow the organization and keep it going. So, whereas in a bank, it is owned by the stockholders, and banks grow, they sell, they move. Whereas that credit union, I like to think we have a sense of stability in the community, and very much making loans to grow the community.